very few things that have changed our world as much as this little invention. I mean, in our lifetimes, we've really become to rely on these smartphones. I remember when they first came out, I held on to my Motorola Razr as long as I could. All my friends and coworkers, they had their smartphones and they're playing games and listening to music. And I'd like take mine out and say, mine actually makes and receives phone calls. Now we have these phones that we rarely use to make or receive phone calls, but they do so much more. We can listen to music, we can play games, we can keep our calendars, we can check our emails, we can look at social media. There's so much right there at our fingertips. I love the Maps feature so that I'm never lost. It's an incredible device that saves a lot of time and energy, but it also produces stress. Now, I don't know of anything more stress-inducing than looking at my phone and seeing the battery level dip below an acceptable range. That range where you start to evaluate, like, should I use it? Should I not? If I use it for this, then the battery may run out, and then I'd be in real trouble because I might really need it for this. And then we start kind of making trade-offs saying, no, you know what, I'll hold off just in case. And as that battery decreases even more and gets closer to death, the anxiety rises. It creates problems in families. I know I'm not the only family that just can't seem to keep those charging cords anywhere in the house. People are always stealing them, and you're like, why'd you take my cord? Well, I needed it more. Or you want to plug in, and somebody says, well, what percentage is your battery at? Well, it's my cord. I want to plug it into my phone. It shouldn't be a comparison thing. The thing is as that battery decreases, we know it needs to be recharged. It's interesting too, as the phone gets older, it needs to be charged a little more often. You see, our batteries as humans need to be recharged. These bodies that God created and gave to us, you know what? They're greater than any technology ever invented. The brains that we have, the functions that we can do, the way we can imagine and create and produce and just what God has made, but He's made it to be recharged. We need rest. And it's interesting, we know this with kids, like when they're young, we make them rest. We make them play. We know how important recreation is. But as we get older, sometimes we start to think we can do without it. But you got to know your battery level is decreasing. And as it decreases, the stress increases. And as the stress increases, we start to kind of make decisions on what we'll do or not do. And we don't really function at our best anymore. We're not hitting our prime functionality because we're holding back in reserve just in case. And so maybe we're not as kind. Maybe we're not as generous. Maybe we're not as giving or as excited. Our emotions tend to be tempered and suppressed, and we end up being more stressed out and worn out and really sedentary than if we would just make rest and recreation as important as it really is. Our batteries would be recharged, and we'd be life givers and life initiators, and creativity would spark and rise, and we would be able to function and thrive the way we were designed to without having to worry about holding back. We can just let her rip. You see, that's the abundant life that God has for you, but recreation is crucial for that. Recreation recreates life. It's not just about a good night's sleep, but it's also about having life coming back into you so it can come out of you. So value play. Find things that give you life. Do things that make your battery charge go up so that you can give this life your absolute best shot every single day. Let's rest.